All right, I am live. Hi, everyone. We're back to the Empress Study Room. I don't know if my music's too loud. I decided to bring Shango in today because that's the energy I was feeling. Of course, I have to get these cheese right in here. So, I wanted to talk about taking responsibility for your actions, right? Hold on. Let me get my setup right. Music is on here. Doo-doo-doo. There go my Shango. Hey, boo. So, anywho, I want to talk about taking responsibility for your own actions. And what got me to wanting to talk about this today is that this is the first time I talked about it, but it was like Adolf Hitler and the untold stories of Adolf Hitler and why he did what he did, or what he went through, what he was acknowledging and understanding about America, or quote unquote the Illuminati and all this other stuff that he came in through to, that he wanted to be known and spoke on to the massive amount of people. That's why he had so many people that followed him, because he wanted to bring peace, to his country, to the Germans, and the Jews, or quote unquote the fake Jews that everybody was trying to throw out there, was undermining his peaceful protests to the point where, all right, y'all playing games, so this is what we got to do. Kind of the state that we in right now when it comes to America. But before I go with that, I wanted to read a poem, as always, because I love my poetry. Hold on, Shango. Let me put Shango on pause. So, this is my poem, and it's called A Slave in Denial, because I feel like that is what the majority of the world are, trying to get out of in this state of time. We're scared to venture and see what's really happening. Like we blame and put the blame on everybody else and all this other stuff. And instead of taking responsibility of your own actions and realizing that you could do more, we could do more as togetherness than we can divided. We can do more when it comes to your personal life, how you deal with people, how you can treat people with love and respect, and how that trickles off and shares to other realms of people. The color of your skin don't mean nothing, all of that good stuff. So anyway, my poem is called A Slave in Denial. And I'm about to read it off my phone because it's in my second book progress that I'm trying to make, called Mysteries of the Heart, because my first one is called Affairs of the Heart. So this is the new one I'm trying to get ready for. Anyways, Slave in Denial. Wretched as it may seem, a slave in denial is the foundation of the American dream. A slave to materialistic, incompetent virtues, things with no order, no wisdom, nor knowledge of justly defined originality, of natural ordained beginnings. Belligerently standing forth for the condemning of the beloved circumscription of the durable duplicity of my undying and unforgiving truth. The slave in question, who under duress or targeted with facts, they themselves cannot pull the cloaks of fabrication, evidence above their thirst for answers to all answers of life, and have then personally, soulfully, spiritually personified themselves as a slave in denial. A slave in perpetual suspicions that are brainwashed to learn in our daily bloodstream in our study of natural civil humanity, a slave to retrograde to retrieve the information that they surpassed by the cult that they chose to follow. A slave who claims to fear nothing yet truly fears everything because their journey has no answer for their future and present questions to origin and being, while all the same cannot be reconciled for. A slave who portrays themselves as though they are knowing, not recognizing the truth, therefore grieving into the pits of pity, and can visualize no prospects to gain freedom of their life. A slave in denial can paint a perfect picture with no paint. A slave in denial will believe in any and all to find a false cure for their temporary on and offset troubles, deceit, and mistakes. A slave in denial is the world's ultimate defeat. And by me saying all of that, I'm saying that when it comes to knowledge that needs to be understood and need to be looked into, we don't take the time to actually dive into that. We rather stay on that busy notion of go, 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 which is why I feel like this whole COVID thing is actually benefiting us in nature because of the fact that we have time to sit down and think, be there with our families, actually understand certain things that we really, took for granted, stuff like that. So, um, going back to what I was talking about Adolf Hitler, and it was talking about how um, he came into his power off of the notion and off of the uh, talk of peace, bringing together his nation of Germany, talking about how, quote unquote, the fake Jews were trying to take over the banking systems and, trying to undermine the country pretty much. And he was tired of it. So because of being tired of it, kind of like America, we're getting tired of it now. We're getting tired of being undermined and, all these different things slapping us in the face and we don't know what from what. That's what Hitler was in his state of mind and consciousness in Germany. So he was like, he wanted uh, he wanted them to, shut down. He didn't want, the Americans and the French and these people coming over to Germany and destroying the peace that he was trying to gain. Sorry, y'all. So they have this one quote that he has. Hold on, I have to share this because I feel like it's beneficial. And I feel like everybody needs to go check out the untold stories of Adolf Hitler and get into more depth of what he was trying to say and what he was trying to get into. So here is a quote that he was talking to one of his soldiers, and this is what it says. Hitler said even in his death, he would start World War III. One of his soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, the day mankind finds out what I was trying to defend this nation, Germany, from, then that's the day World War III will start. For on that day, mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Jews. For if the Americans win the war, then they will conquer the world and forever be a slave to the Jews, and they will try to conquer God. Do you know who America has in its possession? No, the soldier replied. The Americans has the jewels of God. The Americans have stolen God's precious jewels. What do you mean? This is what the soldier is saying. What do you mean? Hold on, y'all. What do you mean his precious jewels? The soldier asked Hitler. Hitler said, America has stolen the Jews of God, his jewelry, the Negroes. They are the true Hebrews. So I'm understanding that, they always, those who win the war or become victorious always change things to how they want to see fit. So they put Hitler out there as a bad guy, as someone who was undermining them. Now, mind you, he was trying to throw light on the darkness that they was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, he had to go, of course. That's why America sought out him, and that's why the quote-unquote Freemasons, the Illuminati, the elite system, all of them was targeting him because he didn't want to join their corruption. He didn't want to be a part of what they stood for, and he'd rather be there for his people, which is why his people loved him. He came up with 3 million different jobs for the German people. He helped bring peace, took out the homosexuality, the pornography, all the things that was negative in light. He took out in his country, and he wanted everything to be peaceful. And if you actually go back and look at some of the things that he was saying and some of the speeches that he had, and you listen to it in English, you could tell that he actually did have a good heart. He actually was trying to help his people, and he was doing what was best for, everybody at the time. When it comes to the Holocaust and stuff like that, first of all, let's not pretend and act like he the first one to come through some foolishness like that. Okay? Let's not do that. Let's just be realistic. Sometimes you need a little bit of this and a little bit of that to get what you need to get. And he, like I said, he knew the difference between the fake Jews and who the true Jews were. So he was getting upset about these people pretending to be the true Jews and then running over the entire world, trying to cause havoc, ruining the banking system, causing war for no reason, keeping certain people in power, and then leaving the rest of civilization in a state of oppression. So he knew this. Even the swastika that he has, or his symbol, was an African ancient symbol that represents the spiral of unity, the motive, the movement of growth, the forward journey is what the swastika stood for. And if you was to go back into certain African symbols, you would see that. So yeah, for me, he took that responsibility to help his followers, to help his people, to help. He was their Messiah, so to say. Every culture has a Messiah. Everybody has someone who they look up to help push the journey forward, so to say. That's what America needs right now. We need to take responsibility for our own actions, and we need to push forward on things that we need to happen. Stop looking for other people to be our savior. At the end of the day, that ain't gonna do nothing but keep us in a state of dysfunction. It's going to ruin our financial systems. Like we're not thinking the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? We're too busy caught up on racism and the divide and all this other stuff. That's not our way. Our way is that of unity, which is talked about in the Tower of Babel of the Bible. And it talks about how everybody came together in one language, one group, not one spoken language, but as far as the love language, as far as togetherness, unity, as far as taking the responsibility of your actions to reach your heaven state of mind, being your mental, everybody moving as one. You know what I'm saying? Once we understand that and get that, there's nothing to hold us from where we need to get. We can sit here and point and be like, oh, it's the elite fault, it's the Illuminati fault, is it? No. To be straightforward, it's our fault. Because we're not doing what we got to do to stand where we need to stand as one. We can't falter somebody else for our own lives. You know what I'm saying? We talk about one love and bringing the togetherness and the unity in one sentence, and then the next sentence is, oh, we need to only focus on the blacks, or we need to only focus on homosexuals, or we need to, why we just can't focus on everything in its totality. We need to ground ourselves instead of being scatterbrained and blaming everybody else for our problems. I'm talking about as a human race altogether. Uh, Black people do need to wake up, especially over here in America. We need to wake up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we've been, too lazy. I feel like myself that a lot of us are being extremely lazy. There's so many Black folks that I be coming across, and they be like, they tired of this, they tired of that. However, you ain't that tired because you're still doing the same foolishness. You're not trying to create your own business. You're not trying to spend money where it needs to be spent to create a community of togetherness. You rather waste the money and give it to, the elite or whatever for dumb stuff, materialistic things, such as what Judah did when it came to Jesus. To me, it is the Bible is more of a story of a spiritual concept, or the oneness in yourself, the light in self, Jesus being the higher self. Judah sold Jesus or his Christ consciousness for that of materialistic beings and things that we're doing right now. We rather go spend all this money on shoes or cars or houses or jewelry and bullshit versus actually putting the money into things where we help empower each other, where we go into trade and barter. Like, we wouldn't even need money had we got back into the original of trade and barter. One of your neighbors got, a farm. The other one knows how to sew. This one over here can watch the kids. What happened to that togetherness and that unity? And because we don't have it, or because we have forgotten it, we are looking for a system to do what we should be doing as a community, taking responsibility of our own actions. If y'all serious about trying to get up out of the BS and the nonsense, then make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the information, Share what you can do. Be creative. We don't have to work for somebody else to get what we need to get. We complain about our financial systems and things like that falling. They wouldn't fall if we would resurface that money back where it needs to go with each other. We don't need a governmental system to do what we naturally know how to do. We just forgot how to do it, or we're too lazy to do it, or we're making excuses about it, looking for reparations and all this other bullshit. Ain't nobody going to give you nothing. It has to be taken. Just like Hitler was saying. He was like, either you can have peace or we can create this war. I'd rather it be peace, but if war is what needs to happen to get where we need to get, then it's just going to have to be done. But to sit on your back and be lazy and think that somebody's going to finish or come to a place of peace or is it solace or whatever, but come to that place of connecting or getting you where you need to get somebody else to do it for you, it's never happened like that. It's always going to be dictated in a fashion where, we have become slaves. And then, like I said in my poetry, a slave in denial at that, because you're being enslaved. You know that things aren't going right. When it comes to eating healthy and getting your pineal gland together and different things like that you can do personally at home and with your family to wake people back up. We choose not to do that. We choose to put poisons in our body. Something where, Kanye be talking about and everybody feels like, he's talking out the side of his neck. So I feel like certain things and certain ways that he says it can be explained a little bit better than how he is explaining it. But just like when it comes to him and what he said about slavery and how it was a choice, to some extent, it was a choice. First of all, slavery started and began with African, culture. It started with us. But slavery to us was trade and barter type of thing. Not even trade and barter. It was more like a prisoner of war, you working off your debt. Yeah, you got captured. So in order, if you want to be free, this is what you got to do. So we actually traded our own people into certain places until we were deceived, and then we became enslaved, majority of us. So when it comes to that, like I said, taking responsibility of your actions, there are choices for everything. Either you could choose war, fight, and die, or you can choose to be lazy and fall under, I'll be a slave as long as I don't have to do all of this other stuff. People don't want to work and actually do what needs to be done in order to get out of their enslavement. Who are we blaming other than yourself? Information is readily available. We have the choices in the wheel to do what we need to do. So who are we blaming? That's what I want to know. Instead of taking responsibility for your own actions. It ain't difficult. It ain't rocket science. They've been playing this game for a long time. Long time. And we over here trying to wake up. And it's not like we don't have it in us to do what we need to do. We just stuck in our rut, pointing fingers, when you actually have to point your finger at yourself. Because we have all the opportunity to get what we need to get. We don't really need the education system that they have right now when you can become your own teacher. You have the power to study and research all this massive amount of knowledge, but we choose not to. We don't like to read. We don't want to get and search. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. So you want to be a fool is what you're telling me, instead of actually doing what you need to do. All the information that I come across, people be like, Amber, you think you know everything? No, Amber don't. But what Amber do know is I research and I'm going to dig into something to figure out what is what. I'm not going to sit here and be blinded, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for why I can't get it done. Is that going to do me any good? Is that going to do you any good? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what we have to start. We can't sit here and be all rah, black power this and black power that, and thinking that, these protests is going to, just do everything that needs to be done. Like, protesting is okay. That's fine and dandy. I feel like life is like chess. You got certain people to play certain parts. You got your protesters. We also need people who are motivated in movement into business. We need some people that is able to, bring that unity together between everybody. We need all of these structures of people and to come to one solid ground and purpose, to get back on that heaven state of mind or that Tower of Babel where everybody speaks the same language. You know? So that's what been messing with my nerves lately, is because I hear people do a lot of talk, but ain't a lot of people doing a lot of movement. You know, we over here talking about the COVID this and the COVID that, and like we know something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something's a little fishy when it comes to COVID. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Nothing's coincidence. It was definitely dropped out here like the plague. Okay, but it ain't nothing new. And something else, I know some people don't really pay attention to symbolisms in movies and cartoons and things like that, but this ain't the first time things like this have popped up. You know what I'm saying? They put things in movies. Simpsons talk about things a lot. It ain't like we don't have the blueprint to figure out what's from what. We just choose to be slaves in denial, not take responsibility for our actions, and not do what we need to do to move forward. And I feel like that's a problem. And if we ever want to get into that place of peace or that place of growth, we have to change things. Have to change things. First and foremost with yourself, which means the healing factor. I always tell people about healing, healing, healing. Healing is when I'm talking about like getting to your herbal medicines, get into holistic medicines, eating the way you need to be eating, um, vibrating on a higher frequency, putting people in your life that aren't toxic, getting rid of the old, bringing in the new. If you really want some change, clean out them skeletons, clean out them closets, forgive those who have wronged you, but don't do it for them. You need to do it for yourself so you can elevate on a higher frequency. It's time to level up. Fifth dimension love. There's even more dimensions than that, but at least you can get to the fifth, which basically has to do with the love and unity and togetherness of all things. Nothing is separate. Yin and yang talks about it. The positive and the negative, you need them both. Just know when to use them. Don't sit here and be crying over spilled milk, waiting for handouts. Let's get it done. That's all I can say. Let's get it done. And the fact that I know this type of information, it weighs on me sometimes. Like my family and friends be feeling like I be forgetful and all this other stuff. Cause sometimes I get a little spacey in my head and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I get a little spacey. But the only reason why I get spacey is because I have so much true knowledge and information that I got to share. To be able to have a platform to discuss problems, come up with ways to fix it, and move. That's where my mindset is at. We need to fix the problem. We need to come up with blueprints to push forward. And that's where my mindset is at. And because I don't really dibble dabble with superficial nonsense, like I don't want to talk about nonsense all day. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no gossip. I could care less. I don't want to hear about this fake nonsense of, to me, racism is a bunch of bullshit because I know that we are all one. To talk about things where just like I said, Rona or all this other nonsense that they throw as a distraction. To talk about all of that and not get to the root cause and the root problem, I feel like we're wasting time. Again, taking responsibility for your actions. It ain't no way we got to where we are right now unless we chose to bend over backwards and just got complacent and comfortable where we were at. That's on us. That's not on anybody else. So when it comes to, like I was saying about Kanye and how he was saying that slavery he feels like is a choice, to an extent it was. We lost our knowledge, we lost our information, we kind of we ran with fear, things like that. We lost the fight in us. stuff like that. We still are trying to gain back the fight in us. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to wake up. The 500-year mark is over. This is the revelation period. Also talked about in the Bible. Not no revelation of something negative and something without a purpose. This is the revelation of people waking up. People are waking up, coming into the enlightenment. People are understanding things that they didn't really understand before. People are coming into information. People are learning what unity and togetherness is. That is the revelation. That's exactly what it is. So we need to quit over here running around scared. People talking about this demon and shit. 666, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. That's human. Men will be our downfall. Not, I'm talking about man as far as the human race. We will be our own downfall because we don't know how to get it together. We don't know how to work with nature. And until we get it together and figure it out, we will be our own downfall. Nothing else. Nothing else. And it's time to wake up. So with that being said, that's what I wanted to touch bases on today. I still have to work on, I've been taking breaks from these 2 books, but I will be getting back on them so I can put my videos back up there. The Master Key to Riches and How to Win Friends and Influence People. People think that it's not beneficial to know these things, but you'd be amazed at how people don't know the basics of humility, humbleness, positivity. A lot of people don't know the basics, and that is pretty much what the Master Key to Riches is. Being able to service others, thinking about more than just yourself. Not service others to the point where you forget about yourself, but service others to the point where it benefits the both of you. Both of you can move in a positive direction together. Keep toxic things out of your life. So that's all I wanted to touch base on tonight, or today, because it's definitely 1:12 in the afternoon. So that's what I wanted to touch bases on today, and I hope that I could spark a little something out there. Again, y'all should check out that check out the story of Adolf Hitler, the untold story. Not this BS that they feeding us. Of course, they gonna put some lies on him, but he is nothing like what they tried to portray him to be. So I feel like y'all should go check that out. Let me see if I have the link. I know I didn't put it down there in my. Probably should put it in the comment section, so I might do that. But I went to. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Give me 1 second. It is www.bitchute.com. I think that says, I don't know, BitChute. I think something like that. But it's called Adolf Hitler, the Greatest Story Never Told. Check that out because there's definitely some beneficial information in there. It is 6.5 hours long, but it certainly is worth it because it definitely talks about, you know, how he came into power and his strong morale. Yeah, so y'all go check that out. And again, take responsibility for your actions. And namaste and ashe.